Hello, everyone. Hope you are having a great day. I'm back with yet another live session talking about discovering how setting boundaries can boost your leadership effectiveness. And in today's session, I'm going to dive into what are those boundaries in general, why do we need them, and how are they crucial for leadership effectiveness specifically. I will talk to you a little bit about how you can identify those areas that need boundaries from your personal perspective, and will give you some examples and implementation strategies. And then we'll also tap into some practical tips on how you can learn saying no when you really want to say no in an authentic and polite way. So let's dive in if you are ready for that. Before I go there, for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Sylvia Vitos. I'm a leadership well-being coach and consultant working with corporate executives and senior leaders, helping them live a happier and healthier life to find that balance inside out. And I do that by tapping into mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being as well. So back to boundaries. If you have watched yesterday's session, I was speaking a lot about personal core values and how that can be a very critical component of your own internal personalized compass that can really guide you help you navigating through different life situations. And I pointed it out that boundaries will also be a key aspect and they are pretty much linked into each other. So if you missed that, then go back. The recordings are available to yesterday's session about personal core values, and you will see how boundaries will build upon that and the upcoming sessions as well. So, what are boundaries? Boundaries are really that line that we draw for ourselves in order to protect our time, our energy, maybe even the mental, physical or emotional space in some way. And again, similarly, like with the personal core values, also with the boundaries, emotions will come very handy that will guide us, send us messages that something requires our attention to make some tweaks or changes so that we can get back to alignment and live in a true, authentic way that will feel actually easy and light rather than frustrating and overwhelmed. So, why boundaries are critical for leadership effectiveness? This is really a way to set expectations and limits to both directions. When you are in a leadership positions, obviously you have your team, the people who are reporting to you. So it's a very important aspect. How do you set examples? How do you set expectations? And yeah, what is the image that you provide, because they will follow anyway. And then on the other side, how do you set these boundaries towards your superiors? So how can you protect your own self from that perspective as well? Very, very important. So that will help you foster an environment that is based on mutual trust and respect, which is crucial for effective leadership. I hope we can all agree on that. So that will, at the end of the day, help you manage your time and energy so much better, which will amplify your performance, your work life harmony. I don't like the balance at all. It's work life harmony and will just help you create a lot better team dynamics and flow altogether. So, coming to the areas that may require boundaries, how can you identify for yourself what are those areas that you probably could look into setting up some boundaries and becoming clear about those? So, the very first step to do is to do some self reflection. And ideally, take a notebook and start writing about it. And what you want to really watch out for is consider moments where you feel stress, discomfort, overwhelm, frustration, because all these are signals you receive that probably some boundaries are needed. So just jot down what are those situations, what are those events where these unwanted emotions keep coming up. And then list those key areas that come up for you. Wherever you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, stressed out, list them all down. So, what could it be? For example, it could be related to time. Let's say you work late hours and you just sick and tired of that. Or maybe related to your work life harmony. Because let's say you keep taking calls and answering messages, whereas you're supposed to be with your family at the dinner table. It could be related to delegation. You keep taking on tasks and completing tasks that actually could be done or should be done by someone else on your team or in the organization. What else? It could be related to interactions with colleagues or some other people. A very good example is unproductive meetings. Like how many times you receive invites to meetings without an agenda, without any specific details, what it is about, or maybe 20 people already attending. Do you really need to be there? So these are all aspects and many more actually that can fall on this list of potential need for boundaries. List them all down. Once you have the list, then start assessing the impact. So, for example, long working hours could be a very typical example. What do you notice? How does that impact your health, maybe your relationships, or anything else that is truly important for you? And then set priorities. So see which area is most burning, most important, or having the biggest impact right now on your life, and start with that so that you don't get overwhelmed even with setting boundaries by just looking at 20 areas at the same time, one by one. Always golden rule, no matter what you do, start with just one small step and build up from there if you want to bring that to success. So, what could be a good example for a boundary statement? Let me stay with that very typical example of working long hours, staying back late in the office. And I used to be guilty of that too back in my corporate life. I wish someone taught me about how to set healthy boundaries because it happened way too many times leaving the office at odd hours. So, you could say very clearly that I will conclude my workday by 6 p.m. on weekdays just to ensure that I have the space to recharge and be able to be there as the best version of myself and show up for people around me as the best version of myself the following day. So I will just conclude my workday by 6 p.m. no matter what. And I want to give a careful hint here because, of course, emergency may happen. Of course, escalation may happen. Having spent 15 years in logistics, I know what does it mean getting the escalations at 11 p.m. and co. And that may happen, but that shouldn't be the rule. Those are the exceptions, and let's tackle them as exceptions and not as rules. All right. So, considering this boundary statement, how can you implement it so that people actually know about it and you don't just keep it for yourself? Because if you take such a decision and set such a boundary, but then you give your power away to everybody around you, then they will start messing or you let them mess with your boundaries. If you receive, let's say, a meeting invite which is for 6 p.m., then this is where it will be very important to learn to say no and protect your boundary and actually step up for it because you know that's important to protect your energy and your own personal core values, linking it back to yesterday's session. So, how to implement? The number one most important act is to communicate and communicate clearly. Be just black and white about it, and to both directions, to your team and to your supervisors, upper managers as well, so that they know that this is how you intend to work. And sure, there might be exceptions, but these are the expectations you are setting around your own life and availabilities. And then what's crucial, of course, to plan and prioritize your tasks so that you are able to fulfill your own boundaries. Maybe look up or implement some new strategies in terms of finding focus and being more productive, how you can better utilize that time that is available for you. So you will not need to be guilty about leaving at 6 p.m. The office, right? So make sure that you plan and prioritize the tasks so that the work is done, and it's not about your presence, it's about work is done, and then you have your own life as well, which is extremely important because otherwise you won't be able to be productive anyway. So what's the point? Use technology wisely. So let's say you could set a reminder for yourself at 5:30 or so to start wrapping up the things for the day, and don't forget yourself in the office after 6 p.m. Happened to me as well. So reason pointing it out, and then be consistent. Doing it once a week will not really lead you anywhere and not help you get into that practice of the new boundary. So be consistent and step up for yourself. Be assertive as well. So assertiveness is a very critical skill to learn as well in terms of leadership skills, and not just for your own boundaries, also in relation to your protecting your core values. So let me take another example, and I will link that back to the core values. One aspect could be that time and respecting time is something really truly important for you and one of the core values that you represent. So let's say you have a weekly team meeting and one person is continuously coming 10-15 minutes late, and it makes you feel irritated, frustrated, annoyed about it. So you want to somehow communicate that, but in a nice and efficient way. How can you put that across? First of all, always start with I statement, okay? Because whenever we start a sentence with you, it becomes kind of like an attack, kind of it will be not comfortable for either parties. So it will easily create conflict rather than seeking for solution. So you could say that, hey, so and so, I have noticed that you regularly come late to our team meetings, which actually makes me feel really annoyed or irritated because time is really, truly important for me, and I would love for you to respect that as well. Would it be possible for you to come on time as of the next meeting? I would really appreciate that. So could you really say no to that kind of request? I think it's something to be respected, and how you communicate, how you use your tone has a huge impact, especially when you are in a leadership role and you are leading by example. That's being a huge responsibility for those who are reporting to you, because it will also have a ripple effect. So how to say no in line with your boundaries, and how to embrace that skill in a nice, authentic, and polite way. Again, very important to always do use I statements. Be understanding and be empathetic, and also provide a reason. So let's say you get another request for a project to run, and you are already, your plate is full, you don't have more capacity to take on more. So you could say, I won't be available to lead this project because my workload is already at over 100%. And then you can offer an alternative or some kind of a compensation that, let's say, I will still be happy to offer my input during the planning phase if you need any insights from or based on my expertise. And what you also can effectively use is to just ask for time to think if you are under pressure or you are unsure about whether or not you want to say yes or no. So you can always just say, let me consider your request or inquiry, and I will get back to you by tomorrow. Would that be fine? So that's really about today's quick boundary skills building session. I hope that you find some value in there. So, if you would like to have an overall understanding about your well being in all aspects of mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well being, there is a free, completely free assessment available on my website. You can find it on livity.ae. And under the assessment, you can click through a very nice assessment that will give you quite opportunity to reflect on all key areas of your life. And you will receive summary about all your inputs that can really contribute a lot to where are the areas that may require your attention, also from the boundaries perspective. So we'll leave the link here, or also in my bio, you can find the link. Click on it, take the assessment, enjoy, have fun, reflect on your own life so that you can take decisions about how you can make it even better, because we all want to be happy, healthy, and live long. And this is where I'm here to contribute to you as well. Have an amazing day. Tomorrow, I will be back with yet another live session where we are going to tap into those beliefs that are holding us back in so many times, in so many ways. So, we'll help you shed some light on that very important topic as well. Have a great one and bye for now.